Good evening, everybody. Attention, please. Um, Now that everybody has taken their seat, I would like to thank you for coming here. I am Annalise Brody. I'm the chair of the board of director. And welcome to all of you. We are very honored that you're all here tonight with us. And I would like to introduce you to the first counselor, Emanuele Di Lorenzo Badia, the head of the Economic, Commercial and Scientific Affairs Office of the Embassy of Italy. Thank you so much.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the Italian Embassy, and also on behalf of Ambassador Zappia, she's on your programs, but unfortunately she's in Italy due to a loss in her family. But I'm very honored to speak on her behalf tonight. We are delighted to host the Italian Cultural Society annual Gala Awards dinner at the Embassy. It is now, Francesca, I would say a tradition because it's not the first time, and we're more than happy to uphold this tradition. I would like to thank Annalise Brody Morani, there you are, Chair of the ICS Board, Francesca Casazza, Executive Director and CEO of the ICS. Brava Francesca. For organizing this wonderful evening that we will spend here together. And I'm truly pleased to acknowledge the honorary guests of the gala, Carlo Pretirini, founder of the Slow Food Movement, and Roberta Ceretto, who is with us here tonight. The Italian Embassy has a long-standing cooperation with the Italian Cultural Society. First of all, ICS is one of the two cultural associations of the Greater Washington area that is formally entrusted by the Italian Foreign Ministry to teach young students our wonderful language. This is quite a task, having young children myself, that you fulfill in the best possible way. But ICS is also a truly active cultural center that promotes Italian language and culture in many other different ways on a, I would say, daily basis, truly leaving a mark on our community here in DC. There is a thriving demand of Italian culture in the US and culture in all of its expressions. We will hear a lot of music, beautiful music tonight, is a cornerstone of our bond, Italy's bond with this wonderful country that hosts us. This year's gala is dedicated to the promotion of Italian food and wine. Food has a profound significance in Italian culture. It is a symbol of our traditions and creativity, a vehicle for storytelling, and a bridge between generations. This is why we are promoting the candidacy of the Italian cuisine as UNESCO's intangible cultural heritage. It is also a recognition to the large number of Italian producers, farmers, and chefs who are promoting Italy's rich gastronomic heritage globally. I'm therefore delighted to see the participation here tonight of several Italian top chefs and entrepreneurs living in the Washington area. Congratulations for your success and for your commitment in promoting Italian cuisine here in the US. You truly deserve this recognition, and you have all my admiration. Let me conclude with two Italian words to thank ICS for the outstanding job, passion, and commitment. Bravi and grazie.
I am so grateful of how many of you are here tonight to support the Italian Cultural Society. In the words of my husband, I was not born in Italy, but I got there as soon as I could. So, thank you all for displaying such a passion for our bel paese, the country of excellence in so many fields: art, music, fashion, food, cinema, design. Just 2 days ago marked the birthday date of the coffee machine inventor, and you guessed it, it was Italian, Angelo Moriondo. Speaking of food, those born in Italy in my generation are aware that the only fast food allowed was the merenda. Merenda was the afternoon snack. It was not fast because our mothers and grandmothers would not pour love into freshly made pie or zabayon, but simply because we were allowed to snatch it and go out to play. For the rest, food was a table affair every day of the week. The food that came to the table was prepared right before, after a morning long of shopping. Grocery shopping was another form of art, a refined combination of neighborhood gossip and endless disputes with the butcher, the fishmonger, the baker, the veggie vendors. The slow food we celebrate today was our way of life. Food was and still is a celebration of what is dearest and most important in life to us, our family and our friends. Sitting at the table with the best food we can cook is honoring ourselves and honoring our friends. This was true because it had the gift of our time and our resources, and this was true even when Italy was a poor country and the resources were scraps gathered from the dishes of the wealthy few. This is how the now famous tortellini were born. They were nothing else but scraps that the peasants would gather from the wealthy that they served. As we gather tonight, let us carry forward the passion beyond these walls. I urge each one of you to continue embracing the tradition, the flavors, the values that make Italy unique. Whether it be savoring a homemade meal with loved ones, supporting local artisans and businesses, or simply sharing the beauty of Italian culture with others, let us all strive to keep the spirit of Italy alive in our daily lives. Together, let's stand as ambassadors of Italian excellence and unity, embodying the true essence of La Dolce Vita. Grazie mille for your unwavering support. And now, our wonderful CEO, Francesca Casazza.
Thank you, benvenuti, buonasera. Welcome everybody. Thank you, First Consular Di Lorenzo Badia, for your nice words. Thank you to Ambassador Mariangela Zappia for allowing us to be here. Thank you, Annalise. Thank you, the Board of Directors and the Gala Committee who is working here tonight. This is our most important event, concluding a fulfilling school year, and also tonight we are teaching Italian culture. Every year with a different theme and honoring the people who represent the excellence on the field of the year, as well as our scholarship award recipients who are there, and celebrating all of us, lovers of the Italian culture present here tonight. Thank you again for being here. We couldn't have chosen a better masters of ceremony for this year's theme. Here she is, ready to come on the stage. It is my pleasure to introduce you award-winning author, chef, and television personality, Emiriolo.
Grazie, buonasera a tutti. What a huge pleasure and honor it is to be here with you once again. Thank you so much, Francesca, for that beautiful introduction, and to Annalise for your inspiring words, to Councillor Badia for your wonderful opening remarks, and to all of you for coming out. Before we get started, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Immigrant Heritage Month. This is a national month that's celebrated in the entire country. Being here in Washington, D.C., and being at the embassy, seeing so many amazing examples of what immigrants can do is really moving. And if you think about the food industry, the wine industry, architecture, government, building, science, there are no industries in America that are untouched by not only Italian immigrants, but by all immigrants. And I think you'll be very inspired as you hear the individual stories that we have tonight. But I know that if we went around each table, we would have many, many more to tell. And I'm always, when I'm up on this stage, I'm really inspired by the words of Carlo Magno, or Charles the Great, who said, "Conoscere una seconda lingua significa avere una seconda anima," which means knowing a second language means to have a second soul. And that's what the Italian Cultural Society and the work of Francesca gives to us, because of all of their educational programs and the different types of cultural and culinary. They even do, I believe, pottery and so many different types of classes that they're teaching people not only how to speak Italian, but also how to think and how to actually be Italian. And that's a wonderful gift. And speaking of the gifts that we give everybody, I think it's time that we mention our sponsors.
Please give a round of applause to our platinum sponsor, Bank of America, and Marco Stilli with the Sotheby International Realty.
Bravi to all of you. Our gold sponsors are Ferrero, Fincantieri Marine Group, Mediaset Italia, Bethesda Travel, Your Italian Citizenship Ferry, Capital Hilton, and Morgan Stanley Private Wealth Management.
And I want to thank the silver, the bronze, the food and beverage sponsors, as well as our individual donors highlighted in your program on your tables. Thank you all for making our important work possible.
Learning Italian goes beyond the grammar and communication skills. It's a journey into the art of our civilization, of our values and creativity and lifestyle. Through our language courses and events, we aim to share the essence of Italy's vibrant culture. We teach the brilliance of our artists, writers, designers, entrepreneurs, and the mastery of our chefs. We are proud this year to celebrate the 50th anniversary of our Italian language program. The Italian Cultural Society of Washington, D.C. was founded by the chair of Italian department in Georgetown University in 1953. And in 1974, the Italian language program was funded thanks to contributions from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, with a mission of including Italian in public and private schools and to teach Italian to our community. Within our nurturing environment, we don't just practice the language, we explore history, geography, and the traditions that shape our identity.
Questa sei tu o è la mamma? Mamma.
Besides in-person courses, people of all ages and backgrounds across the United States come together in our virtual classrooms. In 2018, we expanded our offerings with the establishments of the ICS Music School, providing Italian chorus for children and instrumental music lessons for everyone.
I look so forward to Tuesday nights, which were a lifeline with Annalisa and my classmates.
Italian Cultural Society to me feels like family.
From Dante Alighieri to the slow food movement, from Leonardo to our songwriters, art exhibits, concert, book presentations, and wine tasting, our cultural events cover many facets of our culture. And with us, people find a family who shares the same passion for Italy.
Last year, we started a new tradition to recognize the hard work and dedication of all our teachers, and in so doing, award one of our teachers and their accomplishments. This year, we chose two special ladies who have been teaching for most of their lives at the ICS, at the University of Maryland, and at Casa Italiana. They were both part of the early days of the Italian Cultural Society. They have been close to the founder, Maria Wilmette, Cesarina Oring, the two previous President Emeritus, Professor Luigi De Luca and Professor Ronald Capelletti, and they have always been close to me and Lucy Fonseca and supported all of us. This is mostly a recognition of their career. The 2024 Teachers of the Year are Camilla Presti Russell and Silvana De Luca.
Voglio dirti che ti ringrazio perché mi hai sempre dato la possibilità di insegnare dopo che ho finito l'università, con l'università.
Vuoi dire qualcosa?
Sono molto grata.
Vuoi dire qualcosa al microfono?
Mi hai dato piena libertà.
No, guardate che cosa hai fatto. Facciamo vedere.
Sì. Grazie infinite.
Aspetta, vieni qua, vieni qua.
Aspetta, fiori.
Cristiana was awarded last year and she's accompanying Camilla, while Silvana De Luca unfortunately couldn't join us tonight, but I'm sure she will enjoy the recording of this moment. And now, Amy.
I'm very grateful to the Istituto Italiano di Cultura and Francesca for giving me the possibility of keep on teaching and having the complete freedom, really, of teaching what I wanted. Thank you. Thank you.
Tonight's theme, A Taste of Time, describes the importance of food in our past, present, and future, not only for Italians, but for us all as humans. It's been said in Italian that la cucina di un popolo è la sola esatta testimonianza della sua civiltà, which means that the cuisine of a people is the only exact testimony of its civilization. Right? And I don't think there's any more international foundation that's any more deserving of that statement or that embodies it any better than Slow Food International. If you look at Slow Food International's website, you can chart from 1986 until now the amount of impact that they've had, not only in Italy, but in the world, and even here in Washington, D.C., we have a chapter. Are any of you members of Slow Food D.C. by any chance, or Slow Food Italia? So a couple of you, that's great. I know some of the chefs are as well. Slow Food came to be in Rome, Italy in 1986, when the opening of a fast food restaurant in the Spanish Steps sparked widespread national outrage. The symbolic arrival of the homogenization in a place so rich in history and culture convinced Carlo Petrini and other founders of the movement and that it's a time to act. And so the slow food movement, which encompasses not only food, but also wine, was born. Carlo Petrini regrets not being able to be with us tonight, but he has shared a message with us. In addition, tonight, we're also celebrating the excellence of Italian wine and are honored by the presence of Roberta Cerretto.
Preferisco sempre parlare di famiglia, non tanto di azienda, perché la storia della mia famiglia è a tutti gli effetti il racconto di 3 generazioni che hanno creduto, lavorato e visto cambiare un territorio straordinario come quello delle Langhe. La nostra è una storia di grandi passioni, perché anche mio padre e mio zio, che poi sono stati a tutti gli effetti gli artefici del grande successo di quello che adesso è la nostra attività, sono uomini che hanno vissuto di passioni, le hanno coltivate e hanno letteralmente cambiato un po' i parametri di quello che era la produzione del vino sul nostro territorio. Abbiamo iniziato a produrre negli anni 30, mio nonno Riccardo lo faceva e il grande cambiamento è stato svolto negli anni 60-70 con mio padre e mio zio, ma poi ancora di più negli anni 80. Dal punto di vista dell'enologia e della consapevolezza del cibo si è iniziato proprio in quegli anni a mettere le basi a un percorso che poi ha rivoluzionato il nostro approccio verso il cibo e il vino. A me entusiasma la conoscenza, parlare con le persone, conoscerle, la novità e quindi tutto quello che è la scoperta. Quando tu dici che di lavoro fai il produttore di vino, la gente si illumina. È sempre molto semplice per me iniziare un discorso proprio perché la gente è più propensa a raccontarti e a condividere con te delle emozioni e delle esperienze, perché poi è quello che succede. Un vino è un'esperienza. Io sostengo che noi siamo fondamentalmente dei collezionisti di esperienze e lo vedo anche nell'approccio che abbiamo nella nostra vita parallela, che è fatta anche molto di arte contemporanea, che noi prima di collezionare delle opere d'arte collezioniamo la conoscenza con l'artista stesso.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roberta Cerretto.
Ok, grazie. Mi fa molto piacere essere qua con voi. Then I switch to English. No. I heard that most of you speak Italian, so I'm proud of speaking Italian, and I introduce like that. Okay, so I did not prepare a speech, but I think that what I can do is to bring my experience, that is also my personal life. As you saw in the video, I represent a 3rd generation of wine production in a region that is not so popular as most of many other destinations of Italy, but is unbelievably beautiful. And recently, almost 10 years ago, we were recognized UNESCO site for the beauty, that thanks to the work that farmers like my family did. Our vineyards are beautiful gardens, and I invite you to visit that side of Italy that is quite unexpected. Tonight, some of the wines will speak for me. We decided to share with you our work and what we know best, that is producing wine. I'm very proud of representing a part, an excellence of our country. We talk about wine, while unlikely Mr. Petrini would have told you a beautiful story about food. And in a way, he is also responsible of our success. Piemonte, for the one who knows this area, was not so popular in the last 50 years. it was with the generation of my father that many things has changed. So we are very proud, me, my brother, and my cousins, to bring the work of our fathers toward the future. We have a very important commitment that is to represent the excellence of our wines in the future years.
It's now my pleasure to welcome on stage Lavinia Fici Pasquina, Professor of Architecture and Planning at the Catholic University of Washington, D.C., and wine expert in the process of completing her first book on wine and architecture. Lavinia recently joined the board of directors of the Italian Cultural Society and has been elected vice chair. Congratulations.
So I'm very flattered tonight to have a conversation with you. I've been at your winery. I've been around Piemonte. I love your wine, and I just want to say thank you for being here among us on Italian soil in Washington, D.C., which is special for me. I thank everybody for being here. It's wonderful to see everybody at this tables. I have a lot of questions. I always work with my notebook, so I know I have only 10 minutes with you. So let's hit the first question. Where were you at your most memorable glass of wine? With whom, where, and what wine was that?
Okay, so one of the beauties of my job is that you often meet incredible people. And one of the first time I represented my family in a wine tasting, it was in Hamburg. Many years ago, I can say probably more than 25 years. And we were, as usual, in an Italian restaurant. I would say it was quite a boring evening, except that at the very end of the evening comes a young man with a backpack, and he opened it, and there were 3 bottles of the 50s and 60s that for me were part of the history of my family. I was not born at that years. And he wanted to share them with me because he told me quite a moving story of his grandfather, who was for him a very important person that recently passed away. And so to remember him, he wanted to share the wine with the producer. And that is just one of the many beautiful stories that we can collect doing my job.
Would that be a turning point for you to get into the wine industry? And following that up, as a woman, has it been an easy road? I recently heard that probably 60% of the wineries are now led by women, which is incredibly flattering again. But how do you feel being a woman in the industry?
The future of the wine in Piemonte is mainly made by women. So in the future, most of the Barolos will be produced by women. However, in my family, we are 50 and 50. So the gender has never been a question. We all work together. I have a cousin girl and a cousin boy and a brother, so it's 50-50. In my case, I come to work for my family activity passing through contemporary art, because it passes an image of a very unusual building full of colors that is a little chapel in the middle of one of our most important single vineyard of Barolo, redecorated by Solowit in '99. And we are a family, and sometimes working with your family, you must respect some rules, or some order given by your father. That summer, he asked me to work with a soloist and help him translating. So I start spending time with him, and he talk and ask a question regarding my family, the activity of my family, and I discovered that I have ignored what my father and uncle have done for many years, and I discovered as well that it was a very interesting job and probably what I wanted to do in my life.
That's wonderful. And so I just learned, obviously, your husband is an architect as well, and so there is a lot of involvement into arts and architecture. We say that the difference between construction and architecture is the addition of poetry that makes construction become architecture. So what is the difference between grape juice and wine for you?
Well, wine for an Italian is more a cultural thing. The juice is something enjoying, but around wine there is the work of a lot of people, there is a beautiful story. Wine is something that has been in the DNA of the Mediterranean since ever. So for us there is a big difference.
Of course. You also, I had a very little conversation with you. I met you through a phone call. The word sustainability, inclusivity, equity today, those words have been abused in many fields. But how do they touch your field, the field of winemaking? Of course, I've heard you're getting more into your biodynamic wines, and so that already kind of answers my question on sustainability. But what about inclusivity, equity? How do they touch the field of winemaking?
Well, we are farmers, dressed with a tuxedo, but we are farmer. And for us, the contact with earth is probably deeper than for most of the people. And we feel very responsible of how we work the soil. So especially my generation, when we start to be more involved in the activity, we decided to transform completely the perspective on the production and to watch to our vineyards in a more sustainable way. So we converted very slowly, because the work of a farmer is slower than most of the other works. And since the 2003, we have switched the whole almost 200 hectares in completely biodynamic agriculture. This is our new approach. But talking about sustainability and inclusivity, consider that most of our workers are not Italian, and so when you work in an agricultural field, you immediately perceive how important it is to be open to other nations and our culture.
That's great. One last question. I know our public wants to go back to their food and so on, but we have to introduce one more person. The question is, I visited your winery and it's beautiful. I entered your winery at the time of the day, and that half-berry suspended cantilevered into the landscape was wonderful experience. To see all the vineyard in front of me, below me, and I exited another time and I saw illuminated in a different way. It's definitely an inspiring, and I would recommend everybody who has not seen that to come and visit you. It's fantastic joint between architecture and wine. But I bought a Barolo Chinato bottle, and I don't know if our public knows what a Barolo Chinato is. Anybody knows what a Barolo Chinato is? Okay, I see one only hand up.
Few hands.
My guts. did not bring me to open that bottle for some reason, but I was right because I might not have it again. Can you explain us why?
You cannot have it in the United States, but if you come to Europe, yes.
Why
However,
not here?
For the one who doesn't know what Barolo Chinato is the Piemontese version of the vermouth. Instead of using regular wine, we use Barolo to produce our vermouth. We are very spoiled. But no, there is a question of herbs. So in this country, Barolo Chinato is considered a medicine. So probably you find it more easily if you ask a doctor to write on your paper to drink a glass of Barolo Chinato than to buy it in a wine shop.
I would have never imagined to love that wine as much as your Barolo, but if you have not tried the Barolo Chinato, please do so as well. I know that I would love to talk to you so long, but we have to introduce another person that in the idea of slow food movement has been following Carlo Petrini. And I know that your interest in the connection with the vernacular crops, such as the nocciole, which is something incredible in your region. I bring bags with me every time I come back, or the entire slow food movement and making people realize that it's not about the speed, it's about the quality and the culture that is behind there. You have been between architecture, food, and wine, constructing what it is a part of our culture, which is incredible. So I thank you very much for being here, and I thank you very much for representing Italy and one of our excellence in there. I also want to recall a video by Corby Kummer. Is a senior editor of The Atlantic and executive director of the Food and Society Policy Program at the Aspen Institute. And he's the author of The Joy of Coffee and the Pleasure of Slow Food, which is the first book, by the way, in English about slow food, which is remarkable. So he was supposed to be here tonight, but instead we'll have to see his video.
I'm Corby Kummer, Executive Director of Food and Society at the Aspen Institute. I first met Carlo Petrini, I think in 1998, longer ago than anyone wants to admit, any of us, when I was a journalist at The Atlantic, as I was for decades. I'd spent years finding the best artisans, the most special producers, the one who exemplified exactly what their region of Italy had spent centuries perfecting, the fruit of the labor of farmers and very small business people. It was the best of what was local. It was what best expressed the heart and the soul of a region. Suddenly, I saw it all together in one fair, a wonderful gathering that Slow Food organized in Turin. And then I was so annoyed. I'd spent decades finding these people. How dare they bring them together? I was the one who discovered them all. It was my blinding originality and depth of research. But in fact, Slow Food had found them all too, and it actually had the power to bring them together. Then I heard Carlo Petrini, the founder of the movement. And when he was saying, we have to come together so that the people who produce this food can afford to eat it, can afford to buy the kind of food they produce. And I thought, right, that is the right message. And if I can't beat him, I'll join him. I never actually joined Slow Food because journalists are always independent. But I became a firm adherent of everything Carlo had to say. Why? Because he was always half a step ahead of the rest of the food world. He was the first who said, you can't be a gastronome, someone who cares about gastronomy, if you don't care about the environment. If environmentalism isn't a core part of your mission, don't tell me about the good pasta you found or the great tomato sauce or the terrific chocolate. It has to benefit the people who make it, who grow it, and it has to benefit the environment and the earth. He brought this together. He brought regions together. He brought the world together. That's the power of slow food. The entire food movement in the United States, I say, traces back to Carlo, his beliefs, his radicalism, his faith in human nature, to always see the best in somebody else and never take the easy solution when there's a better, more powerful solution by coming together. Here is Carlo Petrini.
Una delle prime caratteristiche di Slow Food è stata quella di concepire la grande questione del cibo come espressione culturale dei territori. Questo è l'elemento distintivo. Difatti noi nasciamo contro un concetto di omologazione. Se il fast food è omologazione, lo slow food è diversità e ogni territorio a livello mondiale ha una sua dignità culturale, storica, antropologica da rispettare.
Il Time è l'eroe europeo del nostro tempo, tra le 50 persone che potrebbero salvare il mondo per The Guardian. Uno degli uomini più influenti d'Italia per GQ è il fondatore di Slow Food e di Terra Madre, Carlo Petrini.
Costa di più un vestito, una mutanda, che non il cibo.
So now we're at this absurd figure where underwear costs more than food.
Se io ho la mutanda di Armani.
So if I wear an Armani pair of underwear.
Allora io dico, ma scusa, ma io se mangio il prosciutto.
If I eat prosciutto.
Se mangio il formaggio.
Or cheese.
Dopo pochi secondi diventa Carlo Petrini.
After a few seconds, it's Carlo Petrini.
La mutanda di Armani è sempre fuori Carlo Petrini.
But you know, that pair of underwear from Armani, it's always outside of Carlo Petrini.
Dall'inizio del Novecento l'umanità ha perso migliaia e migliaia di specie genetiche di frutta, di verdura e di razze animali. Non è mai successo una perdita di biodiversità così intensa. Con l'idea dei presidi, con l'idea della difesa di questi prodotti, si stanno rigenerando e rigenerano l'economia alimentare. Questa è la cosa di cui sono più orgoglioso, pensare che le nostre idee stanno trasformando intere comunità nella profonda Africa, dove sono stati realizzati migliaia e migliaia di orti che garantiscono l'alimentazione, e nello stesso tempo vedere come con altrettanta creatività la nostra rete, per esempio nel Perù, ha rigenerato la cucina peruana al punto di farla diventare un elemento di interesse mondiale. Stiamo in pratica ricollegandoci a un processo rigenerativo. Questa è la grande avventura che abbiamo davanti. In America le mie frequentazioni sono state determinate da grandi amicizie che hanno contribuito alla mia personale formazione. Primo fra tutti Wendell Berry, che per me è stato un maestro di vita. Poi l'amicizia forte con Alice Waters e con quindi tutta la sua visione di come il cibo può diventare elemento di trasformazione anche dei processi formativi nella scuola. Ho poi avuto l'esperienza straordinaria di vivere la nascita e la crescita dei farmer market. All'inizio queste realtà erano realtà un po' di elite. Oggi sono migliaia in ogni parte degli Stati Uniti d'America. La sorpresa più entusiasmante in questo percorso è stata vedere quanto le popolazioni di ogni parte del mondo sono legate alla propria storia, alla propria memoria. E poi, visto che siete riuniti in questa straordinaria assemblea, e almeno per scusarmi del non essere potuto venire, vorrei dire a tutti voi un grande e caloroso buon appetito.
I hope that you all enjoyed the lasagna and the delicious carciofi that we just had in this course. And now it's time to honor the people that we're here to recognize tonight. We have our special awardees in this evening dedicated to food and wine. We're thrilled to recognize chefs and entrepreneurs in the Washington area who maintain the excellence and high quality of traditional, genuine Italian cuisine and the tenets of the slow food movement. Franco Nuschese of Caffè Milano, Fabio Trabocchi of Fiola Mare, Sfoglina, Del Mar, Luigi Diotaiuti of Il Tiramisu and the Luigi Diotaiuti Foundation, Roberto Donna of Roberto's Ristorante Italiano, and Joe Ferruggio of Il Canale a Modo Mio and 92nd Pizza. I'd like to start with Chef Roberto Donna, who won the 1996 James Beard Foundation Award for Best Chef Mid-Atlantic. The next year, his restaurant Galileo was named one of the 10 best Italian restaurants in America by Wine Spectator. The Restaurant Association of Metropolitan Washington recognized Donna as the Chef of the Year in 1990 and the Restaurateur of the Year in 1995. Donna was invited to Rome in 1996 to receive the Insegna del Ristorante Italiano, which was awarded by the Italian government in recognition of serving the best authentic Italian food outside of Italy. He now runs Roberto's Ristorante Italiano in Vienna, Virginia. And I have to say, a little on a personal note, one of the things that you don't read in Roberto's bio, but that is very much true, is that he truly is a DC legend. Like, he was the first of all of the Italian chefs to come here and to really make a mark on the high-end cuisine. But that's not all. He also has a great habit of keeping all of the chefs together, organizing philanthropic events for all kinds of different organizations with chefs who aren't only Italian, but from all different walks of life, and keeping them together as a group. And that's a really amazing thing. So, bravo, Roberto.
Grazie. Like they say, the union, la unione fa la forza. So thank you very much for thinking about me for these awards. You know, it's an honor and a pleasure. You know, it's my story is very long, so I keep it short because then everybody starts to talk, and then we can keep going. But I came here from Torino to spend 1 year, but when I came here, I saw America like an encyclopedia for cooking, you know, because back then, you know, you do regional cooking. If you're in Torino, you do the ravioli, you do the vitello tonnato, you do the brasato, and that's it. And for all your life, if you stay there, that's all what you do, you know. I came here, there was all kind of fish, games, everything was at your hand. So that was the major reason why I decided to stay. And then after, you know, of course, you know, passion for cooking, passion for food, you know, it's, you see the restaurant that we had back then that was pretty good. You know, most of them, they were French. We have Tiberio, we had Cantina d'Italia, they were very good back then. And, but they were kind of, all of them serving the same thing, you know, and it was not really our Italian cuisine is so big and so enormous, you know. I said, you know, it's not possible that Americans, they don't want to eat our food. And luckily, at that time, in the 80s, when we opened in 84, me and Savino Recino, that is over there, filming. we open and we start just to make simple dishes. But people thought that we were geniuses, you know. Oh my God, you know what is doing, you know, a fettuccine verde. They do it, you know. So it was, and then from there, you know, I start to understand that people, they really like good food and they like really our products from Italy. And it was the time that all the winemaker, you know, Bruno Cerretto used to come, everybody started to come and bring wines. And they help us to work, and we help them to promote, you know, we have them. And so that's, with the cheese, the prosciutto, you know, that is endless, you know. The only thing you have to keep, for me, was keep focusing on the cooking and on the products. You know, and people will come, and people, they always came, you know. Then there is other way that you can do and just make money and don't worry about what you do. But for me, there has always been first somebody comes to eat, my restaurant is like if they eat in my house. So I always try to get the best product I can, not to destroy them, and to serve where they come. Like before they were saying about merendina, you know, the 4 o'clock snack. It's very simple, but like they used to give us during the summer a thin slice of bread with vinegar, olive oil, and salt. But that's excellent if you put vinegar, olive oil, and salt, not if you put olive oil, vinegar, and then salt. Try it, and then you will see the difference, you know? So, I promise to be short, but so from there, my point was that to cook our food, you know, as you know, a chef cannot cook everything. We don't cook, we just teach the cooks how to cook, and then we watch what they do. So to teach people to cook simplicity is not so easy how it sounds simple, because they always think that the dish requires so much work, you know, and it was pretty difficult to do it, but you know, with some patience, and we did it. Now it's almost impossible because everything, the cooking is totally changing, and all this molecular cooking, and but hopefully we can still eat our products. But okay, I keep it short. I thank you, all of you, you know, for being a customer, for supporting me tonight. Thank you. And the most important thing, thank you to Nancy, my wife, that has been the support of my life for the last 15 years. Oh, 22! 22! Grazie. Opla. Facciamo foto dove? Qua? Ah, eccolo qua. Tutti insieme. Foto. Ok.
Grazie.
Prego, grazie.
Complimenti. Our next award goes to Mr. Franco Nuschesi, who unfortunately just had a conflict in when it was planning on coming up until the very last hour, but he couldn't make it. Mr. Nuschesi is being recognized for his amazing success as an entrepreneur, restaurateur, and philanthropist. Franco Nuschesi began his career in London, then Las Vegas, where he managed restaurants for Caesar's Palace and served as Assistant Vice President of Marketing to Europe and Middle East operations for Caesar's World. Later, in Washington, he created Georgetown Entertainment Group and opened Cafe Milano in 1992. Today, the Georgetown restaurant is one of the most renowned hubs of the international jet set. Cafe Milano counts among its patrons American presidents, foreign dignitaries, Hollywood stars, journalists, musicians, and sports legends. In 2016, Cafe Milano marked its second location in the world at the Four Seasons Hotel in Abu Dhabi. Mr. Nuskesi has been recognized with awards and honors by an interminable number of organizations for his contributions to the community. And he serves on the boards of numerous prominent organizations and institutions. Tonight, we're privileged to have tasted his hors d'oeuvres prepared and generously offered by Caffè Milano during the aperitivo. And Francesca, I think we'll be sending the award to Mr. Nuskesi since he wasn't able to come. Our third award tonight goes to Joe Farrugia. We're delighted to award Mr. Joe Farrugia who is being honored for his outstanding achievements as an entrepreneur, restaurateur, and mentor. Award-winning restaurateur, pizzaiolo, chef, Joe Giuseppe Farrugia was born and raised in Agrigento, Sicily. He arrived in America when he was 15 years old. This is a true immigrant success story, on a boat called the Michelangelo with his family. And just a short time later, in 1970, he started working in a pizzeria. He opened his first restaurant, Joe's Place in Virginia in 1978, followed by 4 additional locations. He's now the owner of Il Canale, A Modo Mio, and the 90-Second Pizza chain. Il Canale also became, and still is, a celebrity hotspot in Georgetown, mentioned as a top Italian restaurant in the world, and as a top Italian restaurant in DC by Gambero Rosso and Yelp. Mr. Farrugia also owns A Modo Mio, as I mentioned, which is rated one of the top 50 pizza restaurants in the US, and he recently opened the 90-Second Pizza chain, which now has 3 locations, and they're rapidly expanding. Mr. Farrugia's restaurant concepts and his story have been featured in newspapers, magazines, blogs, and television programs. A few years ago, he published his first book, a memoir called My Name is Joe and I'm a Pizza Man. He consistently upholds the slow food tenets by having DC's largest basil garden on his terrace. He also consistently uses the best organic flours and ingredients in his cuisine. I personally have had the honor of awarding Joe 2 different awards. One of them, the Lifetime Achievement Award for the Premio Eccellenza Italiana, and just 2 weeks ago, the Adelia Award for the St. Pio Foundation. So now I would like to welcome Mr. Joe Farrugia to the stage.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to first thank the Italian Cultural Society to invite me to come here. And what a long ride. You know, I arrived in New York City, was I think April 8, 1970. And my aunt had already a job for me in a pizza shop. You know, because she says a lot of people, they have a pizzeria, they buy a nice house, and you can make a good money. And I said, oh, I like money, so I went to work in a pizza shop. And that was, you know, around probably 2 days after I arrived, April 10, 1970. I am in a pizza shop. And over the time, I learned from a lot of immigrants in New York. They were in the pizza business for 30, 40, 50 years. I worked in many different places in New York. And then I started my first business in my own. I was 25 years old. And then the passion, you know, thank my customers. They love my pizza. And I always wanted to make an even better pizza because I think pizza is it's a food that everybody loves. A good thing for me because I really didn't. It wasn't like now. You know, for example, my kids, they went to college, and they choose what they want to be. I didn't choose to making pizza. That's what they had ready for me. But today, I'm, you know, really honored to, you know, to be here and to be able to really continue the passion for pizza. I really want to. I made a commitment to myself long time ago that I want to make the best pizza in the world. And every time I find something that I think is better than what I have now, it could be an equipment or product or maybe a manager, somebody that wants come towards my direction. Because if they can bring something, I would like to have them. With that, I want to thank you.
He's being honored for his outstanding achievements as top chef and promoter of the Slow Foods principles. Award-winning ambassador of Basilicata's cuisine in the world, chef-restaurateur Luigi Diotaiuti learned from his family farm how this symbiotic relationship between local soil, crops, livestock, and humans promotes physical and mental well-being. Chef Luigi Diotaiuti was named the ambassador of the Italian cuisine in the world by the Federation of Italian Cooks in 2018 and founded the Luigi Diotaiuti Foundation to promote and maintain the local traditions of the Basilicata region and beyond, while creating jobs, supporting sustainable agriculture, and promoting tourism. He's an alumni of the culinary school in Maratea, and in his career he worked in Paris, Venice, Tuscany, Sardinia, and many other places. He opened El Tiramisu in 1996, and it was also named one of the top 50 Italian restaurants in the world and has been also awarded the coveted Insegna del Ristorante Italiano, as well as Gambero Rosso's top Italian restaurants and Slow Food's Snail of Approval. Luigi is also a member of Slow Food Italia and an honorary member of Slow Food Magna Grecia, and we have a video from him.
Buonasera from Basilicata. I'm very grateful to the Italian Culture Society for this award. I'm honored to accept it, and I wanted to dedicate it to all my patrons for the last 29 years and my employees who support me all the time and made this happen. I wanted to dedicate this to all of you, to Francesca Casazza, to the Italian Culture Society, and especially to Emiliolo, to push me all the time to get all the best out of me. I want to thank you to all of you to be there tonight. Make other people happy has been always my goal in my life, whether running my foundation, doing some event, or prepare food at tiramisu for you. This is always like my passion, and my great gratification is to see other people happy for what I do. Growing up in a farm here in Basilicata made me realize the symbiotic relationship between a local crop, local soil, livestock, and human promote the well mental and physical being. And for this reason, I have been member of Slow Food DC, Slow Food Italia, and honorary member of Slow Food Magna Grecia. And I want to thank you to everyone for this opportunity, e ci vediamo presto in CC. Ciao a tutti, a presto.
Our dinner tonight and all of this wonderful event was coordinated from the culinary standpoint by Mariana Marra and Oro Catering. So Oro Catering operates from here in the embassy, and I would like to call Mariana to the stage. And our last chef, who also unfortunately wasn't able to be here tonight, but also for a very good reason, because it looks like he just opened a new restaurant with Ritz-Carlton Yachts, is Chef Fabio Trabocchi. Fabio Trabocchi is being honored for his outstanding achievements as top chef and entrepreneur. Fabio grew up in the Marche region and was inspired by his father, a passionate farmer and gardener who grew most of the food that his family ate. Trabocchi pursued his formal culinary education in Senigallia, Italy, and afterwards earned an apprenticeship in Milan with three-star Michelin chef, the late legend Gualtiero Marchesi. He then worked in numerous restaurants in London, Spain, Moscow, Washington, D.C., and New York. Fabio Trabocchi Restaurants Group was founded in 2010, inspired by Fabio's upbringing, the care for selected ingredients to create dishes that embody the flavors and traditions of Italy and the Mediterranean way of life. Fabio Trabocchi's flagship restaurant, Viola, opened in 2011 in downtown DC and earned its first Michelin star in 2017 and its 6th consecutive star in 2022. Named one of the world's top 5 Italian restaurants by 50 Top Italy, Fiola was followed by other signature brands, Fiola Mare, Sfolghina, and Del Mar. Each restaurant boasts its own unique menu and experience. At tonight's auction, you have the chance to bid for a 4-course chef's tasting menu with sommelier selected wine pairings for 2 at Fiola Mare. And now it's time for the ICS Annual Awards. We start with the Maria Wilmeth Awards, which awards outstanding students of Italian in public and private high schools where Italian is part of their curriculum. The winners are, from Brookwood School, Virginia Herber. Please join us on stage.
I wanted to thank everybody, and especially I wanted to thank the Italian Cultural Society for giving me this opportunity, and I especially wanted to thank my professor, Irene Sorensen, for guiding me into the learning of the Italian culture. I'm very honored to be here, and I know that my parents are also very proud of me, so thank you.
Brava, Virginia. The students sent videos as part of their application for this award. Virginia, in her video, did an outstanding presentation of Dante Alighieri and recited by memory a few verses from the Divine Comedy.
Mi è piaciuto molto imparare Dante Alighieri e conoscere la sua vita e i suoi libri e le sue opere, sì. E mi è piaciuto molto impararlo con la mia professoressa.
Let's say thank you to her instructor, Irene Sorensen. Please stand up, Irene. And the other winner is a trio from the Eleanor Roosevelt High School. They did a very creative video together called an X Factor Italian parody. Madison Galloway, Silas Fondo, and Queen Thomas, please join me on stage. And please apologize if I mispronounced your name.
Buonasera, noi siamo Mariella, Regina
e Simone.
Siamo grati di accettare il Maria Guerrera Wilmeth Award. È un vero piacere per noi essere qui stasera.
Prima di tutto vogliamo ringraziare la SCS e la direttrice Francesca Casaza per aver creato e offerto questa bella opportunità agli studenti di italiano del DMV. Un ringraziamento alla signora Ciruti per tutto
il sostegno e la pazienza in fase di consegna di acceptanza del premio.
Un grazie alla nostra prof che ci ha insegnato l'italiano e incoraggiato a fare di più e meglio fino a rendere questa giornata possibile per noi.
Un ultimo ringraziamo l'Ambasciata d'Italia che ci ospita oggi in questa sede così speciale.
E per essere più italiani non possiamo non dire.
Grazie, Prof.
Grazie, Prof.
We love you.
As you know, the ICS promotes all kinds of art and culture, including music. Now I'm honored to present the first award for excellence in piano, the Luciana Montanari Mendola Award for an outstanding high school pianist, donated by Silvana De Luca in memory of her mother. The winner is Alexander Lee. Say some words and tell us what you're going to play.
Tonight, I would like to thank the Italian Cultural Society for giving me the opportunity to compete and win in their competition. But also, I would like to thank my parents and my teacher, Dr. Valerie Kamaikan. Please rise. Because without their loving and kind support, none of this would have been possible. Thank you.
As you know, ICS also has a classical language program. So we routinely offer classes of Latin and ancient Greek, as we feel that they are the very basis of our Italian culture. And as such, we also award a student of classics. And this year, the Elena and Antonio De Luca Award for Classics, donated by Luigi De Luca. This year awardee is Mary Catherine Contreras. So please join me in welcoming her here to the stage. Mary Catherine Contreras has earned excellence in both teaching and research of Latin and Greek. Her final MA research paper was one of the best written in the last 15 years, according to her mentor, Francisco Barrenechea, Associate Professor and Director of Graduate Studies of the Department of Classics at the University of Maryland, College Park. In it, she examines the nature of the relationship between Marcus Aurelius and Fronto through the perspective of feminist care ethics, an original approach that proved highly illuminating to understand relationships between Roman men. So please, another round of applause for this extraordinary woman.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to receive this wonderful award. I'm very passionate about classics, and I think it's a really wonderful way to engage with the very rich history of the Italian peninsula. So I'm very grateful to the Italian Cultural Society, and I'm very grateful to be here with all of you tonight. Thank you.
I now have the pleasure of introducing the Young Scientist Award, donated by Professor Emeritus and President Emeritus of the Italian Cultural Society, Ron Cappelletti. Dr. Eleonora Tubaldi receives this award for her accomplishments on the study of mechanical metamaterials and fluid structure interaction in soft materials for biomedical and soft robotics applications, a research topic which has been recently awarded by the NSF Early Cancer Award. In addition, Dr. Tubaldi developed very strong connections with the Italian scientific community by building her research group, where she also mentors Italian visiting students.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Eleonora Tubaldi, and I am an assistant professor at the University of Maryland, College Park. I'm very thrilled and honored to have been awarded the 2024 Italian Cultural Society Young Scientist Award. I would like to thank the Italian Cultural Society, the award committee, and my nominators for offering me this opportunity, and I would like to apologize for not being physically with you tonight. Briefly talking about my research, I like to define it as a research outside the box, or just by using a more common word, a multidisciplinary research. Just think for a moment to a super eye, which is able to detect common patterns and hidden features in series of millions of images of our lungs, heart valves, and blood vessels. And thanks to this super eye, physicians can perform an early diagnosis of diseases that could potentially affect the life of a patient and create patient-specific treatment plans. This is exactly one of the topics I'm currently working on with my research team. Another important research topic that we investigate in the Tubaldi lab is the broad field of metamaterials, from the Greek word meta, beyond. Metamaterials are materials whose properties emerge from structure rather than composition. This means that we do not play with the chemistry of the material, but we engineer the material at different length scales to exhibit properties that are not commonly available in nature. One project that I'm very proud of, for which I've been awarded the National Science Foundation Career Award, aims to develop a futuristic intelligent material able to store energy from the surrounding environment, for example from a flowing fluid or from a temperature difference, and release this energy in a controlled and efficient way to perform pre-programmed tasks. The last research topic I would like to briefly highlight is soft robotics. In my lab, we are developing soft manipulators able to gently grasp objects of arbitrary shapes and sense the grasping interaction. This means that we are able to obtain a sense of touch that provides an haptic feedback to the user about some mechanical properties like roughness, shape, weight of the object that we're grasping, with potentially revolutionary implications in the field of medical robotics. All this would have not been possible without the creativity and curiosity inherent in my Italian way of being a researcher. For this reason, my engagement with Italy and the Italian community is strong, and it is an important source of inspiration for my everyday life. In my attempt to give back to the Italian academic system that shaped the person I am today, I frequently attend events in Italy where I promote diversity, equity, and inclusion, and where I meet young students who would like to approach the STEM subjects. I especially encourage young female students to perform what they like and follow their passions, since STEM fields are extremely creative, exciting, and rewarding, and there is really room for everybody. To conclude, I would like to comment about the synergy between the Italian and the US research communities. Il Ministero dell'Università e della Ricerca, together with the National Science Foundation, have recently launched an interesting research opportunity to promote research collaborations on artificial intelligence. Thanks to this kind of initiatives, ideas can be shared and new ideas can flourish, providing a competitive edge to our countries, which will allow us to maintain our prominent role in the innovation worldwide. I would like to finish by thanking you again for your attention and apologizing for not being physically there with you to celebrate this important day. However, I will totally hug you and I'll be back in Washington, D.C. very soon. Thank you.
I now have the pleasure to give the last award, the second Luciana Montanari Mendula Award for pianist graduate student dedicated by Silvana De Luca, Etienne Haitian Zhu. His professor at the Catholic University of America presented him as an outstanding young pianist from China, one of the brightest, most talented, successful, and respected doctoral students in their school. His piano playing is masterful, full of colors and sensitivity, technical precision, and unique personality. Ladies and gentlemen, Etienne Haitian Zhu. Welcome, congratulations. Please say some words and tell us what you're playing.
Thanks, everybody. I'm so honored to get this award. Thanks, Italian Social Society. And actually, my relationship with the Italian language is starting from very young. Because, you know, all the music expression, terms, words are all Italian. So, and I'm so honored and impressed. I'm so happy to be here with the wonderful Italian cuisine and music and the people that's strengthened my boundary for connection to the Italian culture. I'm so happy to be here, and thanks again.